Have you ever felt so vulnerable, so exposed that it felt like the walls around you were closing in? Imagine if every single secret you've buried deep, those little lies, embarrassing habits, or even darker truths, was suddenly at the mercy of someone else. Someone watching you from the other side of a screen. No face, no name, just the power to pull the strings of your life like a puppet master. Now think about this. What would you do to keep those secrets hidden? This is the chilling premise of Shut Up and Dance, one of the most haunting episodes of Black Mirror. On the surface, it's a tale of cyber blackmail, a boy caught in an online trap that spirals out of control. But beneath its nail-biting tension lies a profound question. How does true intentions manipulate our morality, and what does it reveal about the darkest corners of human nature? Transhumanism is the belief that technology can elevate humanity beyond its natural limitations, like enhancing intelligence, physical abilities, and even morality. But does Shut Up and Dance, with its grim portrayal of technology's misuse, suggest this pursuit comes at a cost? In this episode, Kenny's desperate journey isn't just a thriller, it's a mirror, reflecting our fears of surveillance, our shame of imperfection, and our deep vulnerability in an age of total digital exposure. But the story doesn't stop there. It delves into something deeper, a philosophical exploration of shame, morality, and control. So let's dive into it. Let's pull apart the layers of Shut Up and Dance to uncover the ethical and philosophical dilemmas it forces us to confront.
In Shut Up and Dance, Kenny, a seemingly innocent teenager, is coerced into increasingly dangerous tasks by an anonymous hacker. The episode spirals into a devastating climax, revealing Kenny's dark secret. He's been watching child pornography. Kenny is presented as a shy, introverted teenager trying to navigate his life. At first, we sympathized with him watching his violation of privacy through the hacked webcam. But as the story unfolds, the layers of Kenny's characters are peeled back, revealing a disturbing truth. He's not just a victim, but a perpetrator of moral wrongs. Incompleteness in human beings enables the instinctive tendencies to remain open to a diversity of responses. A quote derived from Philosophical Anthropology, a book by Lombo and Russo. It exposes the idea of fulfillment and the never-ending quest to grasp it. Today, we journey into the depths of human desire, using the framework provided in Philosophical Anthropology, an introduction to human nature. We can comprehend that everyone possesses freedom when it comes to their actions. However, that freedom inherently entails responsibility. The book further defines this principle with the statement, moral evaluation is a practical judgment that holds an action to be good or bad in the degree to which it is recognized as being directed or not directed at the good of the person. This highlights that the action should not be taken blindly without awareness or consideration of their consequences, emphasizing our obligation to uphold moral principles within ourselves. In this context, we recognize that Kenny, like all individuals, has the right to freedom. However, it is evident that he misuses this freedom, directing it towards the fulfillment of satisfying his dark desires, thereby failing to align his actions with ethical and moral responsibilities. As Kenny is caught by the hackers from Shrive, he is then blackmailed, coerced into doing their bad deeds. The pressure that they put on him only building up his stress, quickly distressing him as his reality slowly becomes disordered. As the acts he is coerced into quickly strips him of his morals. As it is stated upon the book, a person who reacted incoherently towards the values of reality would be unable to make completely voluntary decisions. As the course of the episode, he is simultaneously lying to himself. He undervalues the severity of the situation, hiding his actions to seem lighter than it actually is. This is only proof that Kenny is completely pulled into the hacker's twisted games, hence his own perception of reality becomes disordered.
The true antagonist of Shut Up and Dance is not a person, but a faceless, nameless entity, a hacker who exploits to control and manipulate. This anonymity is key. It reflects the amorality of digital systems. Technology, unlike humans, operate without empathy. The hackers embodies the darker side of transhumanism technology as a tool of surveillance and control. This raises a troubling question. Can the pursuit of enhanced capabilities ever align with humanist values? When technology lacks moral oversight? By exposing secrets and destroying lives, the hacker demonstrates the chaos unleashed when technology's neutrality is wielded for harm, even when it is used by all means good intentions. The responsibility with which each person assumes his task of becoming man, and the commitment with which he truly fulfills himself as a person, are signs of his constant self-transcendence, that is, of his projection beyond the particular situation and beyond himself. A quote which described the ever-changing morals of men. This quote amplifies the hacker's misperception of human understanding, not seeing their victims as people with moral complexity, instead opting to gaze at them through a narrow, restrictive scope. The hackers exact punishment without consideration for their moral complexity or chance of rehabilitation. They operate beneath a form of moral absolutism. Positioning themselves as arbiters of justice, they pervert the notion of justice through vigilantism, imposing punishment based on their subjective moral framework, opposing the notion that was raised by Lombo and Russo. Only the absolute or divine transcendence can create such a tension and give it complete fulfillment. They pursue retribution rather than restoration, contradicting the moral purpose of justice to promote the common good and human flourishing. Their actions reflect a nihilistic approach to morality, where ends justify any means, no matter how destructive. The hackers illustrate the corruption of human nature as their action presents to us their warped sense of rationality, and freedom. They subvert freedom as a principle, as they coerce their victim into committing heinous acts under duress. The use of technology is apparent throughout the episode, as the hacker used technology as a means of control. Hiding behind anonymity, their action dehumanized not only their victims but also themselves. By severing meaningful connections, the hacker's treatment of their victims reduces human beings to their worst acts, which contradicts the holistic understanding of the person as a composite of body, soul, and moral responsibility. Paradoxically, as the hackers alienate their victims, stripping them of their humanity, they simultaneously lose their own. As the episode progresses, it becomes apparent the hackers lack any discernible empathy, showing how technological transcendence can hollow out human core values. Hence, it is important that man does not lose his capacity to contemplate, i.e., to look at reality in itself and for itself, appreciating and enjoying its beauty, without the utilitarian or practical vision imposed by technology and by a disproportionate desire for his own well-being. Otherwise, what will prevail will always be the desire to modify the world, to manipulate it, and to possess it for his own exclusive benefit.
This episode forces us to ask, is human nature inherently good? The episode offers a grim perspective, showing how ordinary people can commit inhumane acts when placed under pressure or given power over others. Fear, shame, and desperation unleash humanity's darkest potential, reflecting a troubling side of the human physique. In this narrative, the dignity of the human spirit is fundamentally violated through digital coercion and cyber threats. Individuals are stripped of their ability to act freely. This lack of respect for autonomy and the use of shame as a weapon starkly contrasts with universal humanistic values, which prioritize dignity, freedom, and ethical growth. Because if Shut Up and Dance teaches us one thing, it's this. The line between victim and perpetrator isn't always clear. And in a world where your every move is tracked, your every word is recorded, can you be certain your secrets are safe? Or that your privacy is really your own? What would someone find if they looked into your digital life? How much of yourself have you already given away without knowing it? And if your darkest secret was exposed, how far would you go to protect it? Do you trust the device you use every day? Do you trust the people behind them? Are you really sure you're in full control? The next time you glance at your webcam, remember, someone might be watching.